What's up, Fantasy A-Team Nation? I'm your host, Josh Jenkins, and today's show is going to focus on our top 10 fantasy wide receiver rankings for the 2021 season. As always, we have our special guest, not really special anymore, more like a co-host, Zach Roberts. Please help me welcome Zach to the show.
Hey, thanks everyone for having me on, Josh.
I guess we might as well dive right on into it.
I'm totally ready for this one.
All right. If you want to, go ahead and give me your first wide receiver, and then I'll counter you with mine.
Okay, so for me, I think I got number one, Tyreek Hill. He's just one of the most electric players out there. He will get max touches in that offense. He had 87 receptions for 1,276 yards and 15 touchdowns, along with 2 more rushing touchdowns. He's a game breaker, and he's one of those guys that can easily win you your league. He, at times, gets put back as a kick returner and punt returner, so you'll get those yards and touchdowns as well. So that's why I have him as number one.
Okay. And there's no doubt about it. He is a beast. I do differ with you just a little bit. I would say my number one would have to be Devonte Adams. Without Devonte Adams, the Green Bay Packers would not have much of a team. I know he's got comparable stats to Tyreek Hill. I think where Tyreek sort of sets himself apart from Devonte is his actual rushing records that he compiles over the season. But other than that, I think they're pretty comparable.
Just regular receptions.
Yeah. So I guess go ahead with your number 2 pick.
Well, I mean, kind of like you. I mean, it could have easily been Devonte Adams as the number one overall. Like you said, his stats definitely are very equal. I just had Tyreek Hill because of all the extra little bits, how he gets the touches and the chance to kick return and punt return is why I had him up there. But yeah, my number 2 is Devonte Adams. He had 115 receptions for 1,374 yards receiving. He had 18 touchdowns. He's a huge red zone target for Rodgers. Him and Rodgers have some of the best chemistry of any of the quarterback and wide receiver duos out there. So definitely could easily be the number 1, but I have him as my number 2.
Yeah, I believe me and you just flip-flopped, actually. I've got Tyreek Hill coming in at number 2, and he could easily be the number 1. So, yeah, I'm totally with you on those 2 picks.
Right on, man. Well, great minds think alike. So, if you want to, I got my number 3 here. I got Stefan Diggs for my number 3. Had 127 receptions and 1,535 yards. He did only have the 8 touchdowns, but I mean, just the receptions alone and is amazing. So he's, I still believe he's on the rise too. I think he could have even a better season this season as far as touchdown wise. He's an elite talent, and I believe he will be for the next couple of years to come. So he's going to stay up here at the top of this list like this.
Okay. Now my 3rd pick, I'm going to differ with you a little bit. I'm going to put Michael Thomas as my 3rd pick. And I say this from past seasons. And I know he waited for some odd reason to have his surgery back in June instead of right after the off season. So that's putting him behind on his healing and being ready for the regular season. Even though I think he's going to have to miss 2 or 3 games. But I think when he comes back and he's got Jameis Winston, his starting quarterback, and knowing Sean Payton is not going to let him throw all them interceptions like he did down in Tampa, I think we'll be seeing the same old Michael Thomas when he comes back into the game.
And, I agree with you with that. I have him down in my honorable mentions because he's going to miss the first 3 games. So, in the fantasy football, you really need every guy to produce it. Your top picks to produce every week. But so that's why I don't have him on the top 10. But he is definitely should be on here. If he was going to start every game, I would have him as the number 3 myself. So I agree with you.
Well, go with your number 4 pick.
All right, so number 4 is Deandre Hopkins. He's just such a great target. So he had 115 receptions for 1,407 yards. He only had 6 TDs last year, but I think that they were just getting the chemistry right, and that offense is adjusting to having him. So I think this year with the offseason, they'll have him plugged in more. I look at him to get more red zone targets. He's just a flat-out super beast, DeAndre Hopkins. So that's why I got him at number 4.
Okay. Now, my number 4 is going to be Stefan Diggs. I think other than Cole Beasley up there in Buffalo, that's going to be Josh Allen's main target. And I think he's just too good not to have a great season. So I've got him down as my number 4.
Right on. All right, my number 5 is my surprise some, but I believe this guy is on the rise. It has a chance to show that he's elite and will stay up here at the top of this list like this. I got Calvin Ridley. He had 90 receptions, 1,374 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns. His targets will go up this year. His red zone targets will go up this year. I believe he's also going to have a chance to become elite. So that's why I have him at number 5.
Okay. Now, my number 5 is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. The reason why I've got him at 5 is the Cardinals have so many weapons on that team, whether it's DeAndre Hopkins, whether it's, the quarterback, Murray running around doing his thing. They got so many weapons, so many wide receivers. It's just crazy. So, and they may take touches away from him. But we'll just have to see. But he's still in my top 5.
He's a elite talent, yeah. So my number 6 is DK Metcalf. He only had 83 receptions last year, but he put up 1,303 yards with 10 TDs. I look for him to have more targets than he did last year. Tyler Lockett had more targets than he did, but I believe this year he'll have more targets and more red zone targets, and he's starting to shape up to be an elite wide receiver.
Okay. Now my number 6 is Calvin Ridley. Atlanta, their team is not going to be as good this year. They don't have that 2 superstar wide receiver tandem going on there with Julio Jones leaving. So it's pretty much Calvin Ridley's going to be the man.
Playing from behind, he should get a lot more targets.
Yeah, he's going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to sling the ball down the field. So, he's going to get a lot of catches. So that's why I got him at 6.
Okay, well, my number 7 is A.J. Brown. And he had 70 receptions last year, 1,076 yards receiving. He had 11 touchdowns. He's one of the big red zone threats. I believe he'll get more targets, too, this year since Corey Davis left. Even with Julio Jones coming, they're going to have to figure a way to sprinkle him in the offense. But A.J. Brown's been there, and he's proven that him and Tannehill have chemistry. So I believe he's going to continue to get the red zone targets, and I believe his receptions will go up.
Right. Now, my number 7 is DK Metcalf. Besides Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson's going to be slinging that ball down the field when he can. And like you said, DK is a giant in the end zone. He stands above the rest, so he can have his pick. So that's why I got him at 7.
He'll be elite. He'll be considered elite after this year. Metcalf will.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so let's move along. All right, at number 8, last year this rookie had a hell of a season, so that's why he's on here. Justin Jefferson, 88 receptions, 1,400 yards. He only had 4 TDs because they threw a lot of TDs to Adam Thielen last year because he's so, consistent, and he's a vet. But now that Jefferson showed that he is the player he is, I believe he'll have more chances in the red zone. He's a trending up player and a chance to become lead if he has another season like he did last year.
Yeah, I agree. I actually have him down as my number 8 as well. He's elite. He's a speedy out there on the field. Got good hands. He's gonna have a big season.
He helped me win on one of my big money leagues last year, people. So he's gonna be good again this year.
All right, let's go to our number 9.
All right, number 9 could easily be flip-flop with the number 10, but I put Allen Robinson at number 9. He's their number 1 target. 102 receptions, 1,250 yards, 6 TDs. I think this year with better quarterback play, he could be, have even better numbers, which then puts him as elite. I believe he'll have more than 10 touchdowns. So that's why I put him at number 9.
All right. Now, my number 9 is A.J. Brown. And I say this for the only reason is because they brought in Julio Jones. And Julio tends to demand the ball anywhere he goes. So, and if that is the case in Tennessee, then that's going to cut down on touches for Brown, unfortunately. But that's the reason why I got him where I got him.
See, I kind of disagree with that, and it's just my own preferences. I believe with Corey Davis and Johnny Smith leading, both of them demanded a lot of targets, so there'll be enough targets between Julio and A.J. Brown. And Julio's coming in. He's going to be the number 2, not the number 1 like he was. So he's going to have to get adjusted to playing as the number 2. It's the more possession guy. So we'll just have to see how he plays out in their offense. That's why I had him further down.
Right. And last but not least, on our top 10.
So to round out the top 10, like I said, this guy could have easily been number 9 because he means as much to his team as Allen Robinson does. Terry McLaurin. He's like their go-to guy. 87 receptions, 1,118 yards last year, 4 TDs. He's just a super consistent guy. And I believe this year he gets a chance to score more than he did last year.
Right. Okay. Now, my number 10 is I've got Allen Robinson. And the only reason why, and I love me some Allen Robinson, the only reason why I've got him at 10 is because they've got Andy Dalton starting at quarterback. Now, can the line stay up and keep him upright so he can sling the ball downfield to Allen Robinson and Mooney? That's to be determined. So we'll find out.
Well, let me run through real quick some honorable mentions. I got Mike Evans because he's a huge red zone target. Of course, Michael Thomas, since he would be number 3 if he wasn't missing games. Robert Woods, DJ Moore, Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Adam Thielen. All those guys are honorable mentions.
All right. Now I'll do my honorable mentions. I've got Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Robert Woods. I even got Julio Jones there because I want to see what he can do. And then Amari Cooper. I'm expecting Amari Cooper and Julio Jones to have big years.
I mean, they could be easily up here on the top 10 list next year.
Yeah, very easily. So
I've got 2 more things to add real quick. I got my sleeper, which he's not much of a sleeper. People did learn about him last year, but I think he's going to even have a better season this year because Burrow's back. It's T. Higgins. The kid's a stud. He's a big, tall target. Has great hands. So I believe T. Higgins is a good sleeper. If you can get him, in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, maybe 3rd or 4th round, go ahead and pick him up. It'll be a great addition to whatever top 10 wide I can get.
All right. Now, I've got one sleeper as well. The reigning Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama, Devonte Smith. Watch out. The kid is electric.
I have him on my rookies list.
Yeah.
I have a rookies to watch list, and definitely Devonte Smith, Ja'Marr Chase, Elijah Moore, and, of course, Jalen Waddle. All of those guys are going to be great this year.
Yep, I agree. Well, folks.
So what I got.
All right. Folks, there's a lot of information for you to take and digest that might help you in your upcoming drafts this weekend, the week before kickoff of the NFL season. So take it, run with it, build you a good roster. And always, if you have any comments, put them down there. We'll get to them. We'll answer them the best we can. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, friends don't let friends auto-draft.